You're listening to the joint sermons on the Push Media Podcast Network.
You see, at first, when someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. What eventually occurs is, first, homegrown industries start relying on government protection in the form of high tariffs. They stop competing and stop making the innovative management and technological changes they need to succeed in world markets. And then, while all this is going on, something even worse occurs. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. The result is more and more tariffs, higher and higher trade barriers, and less competition. So soon, because of the prices made artificially high by tariffs that subsidize inefficiency and poor management, people stop buying. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. The memory of all this occurring back in the 30s made me determined when I came to Washington to spare the American people the protectionist legislation that destroys prosperity. Now, it hasn't always been easy. There are those in the Congress, just as there were back in the 30s, who want to go for the quick political advantage, who risk America's prosperity for the sake of a short-term appeal to some special interest group, who forget that more than 5 million American jobs are directly tied to the foreign export business, and additional millions are tied to imports. For those of us who lived through the Great Depression, the memory of the suffering it caused is deep and searing. And today, many economic analysts and historians argue that high tariff legislation passed back in that period, called the Smoot-Hawley Tariff, greatly deepened the Depression and prevented economic recovery.
Where's the lies?
Oh, God, you got me agreeing with Reagan.
Where's the lies?
He's not
Where's
wrong.
That's what I'm saying. Where's the lies?
He's absolutely right.
Something he said, legislation. So I could at least swallow that pill a little better from back then, right? It was at least Congress approved, right?
Yeah.
Not fatty approved. Donald Trump is fat. And the way he says he's the most fit president ever, which...
I mean, if people buy that shit, though.
I was going to say it was going to be GW. That man can run marathons and go bike riding for 100 miles. This guy can't lift up his chicken bucket without breathing heavy. It's not even Obama, who was probably the thinnest guy. He wasn't. Yeah. It was GW. By the way, Obama, who went bike riding with him at his ranch, said, you can't keep up with that man. He's just fit. So anyway, whatever. He's fat.
What's
he's
crazy?
In charge. And
What's crazy about the whole thing is, like, you'll have MAGA that'll be just like Ronald Reagan. It's like, first of all, that's like the pinnacle of conservative ideology forever.
Here's the thing, though,
and like they'll even turn on him.
Well, they should turn on him because they're not even Reagan conservatives.
No, which I am not endorsing either.
Put your politics aside. They're not the same.
No, not even close.
They're not the same. They're not the beliefs and the approach and the policies and all that stuff, the agendas. They're not the same. I mean, you don't like Reagan because he squashed you guys under his foot like a bug on a hill,
No.
But he did. That's true. So stop it.
Hey, he also imported crack into the black community. So Gary Webb, shout out. What's up?
Fat. But he still crushed you. But the point is, they're not the same.
No.
That's one thing we need to realize. Generation to generation, politics aren't going to stay the same anyway. So shut up. I can't stand when people make that argument. Just shut up. They're just not the same. Who cares? It's like when they talk about slavery issue in the Civil War, Republicans and Democrats. I'm like, we're really beefing over 150 years ago politics and agenda. Like they're not the same.
But they also don't look at it and understand how parties switch, or they just don't
It's not about parties switching. It's just the mood of groups of people switch. Nothing stays the same because life doesn't stay the same, so it can't. It should move somewhere, left and right. Hopefully, ideally, goes slightly towards needs to. But the point is, they're not the same. But now, Reagan's a bad guy.
Yeah. Well,
Although I would love to hear, because you don't have to like him, That man can give a speech. He was an eloquent speaker. He knew how to tell that story. And that's probably where the acting part came in. You know what I mean?
Oh,
He could
sure.
speak to that camera, period. That's just how it was. Imagine what kind of speech he can give against Trump.
I have no clue, honestly.
For a guy who didn't
any,
like big government and a guy who didn't like authoritarian. Authoritarian, what is wrong with me? Anyway.
Yes, you're fine.
Yeah, it's true. Well, don't say that out loud. I might get my picture on the front lawn of the White House.
Oh, well, hey, I'll be right there with you on that registry.
So your struggle is so awful. You just can't wait to be put on a little signboard at the White House.
Not even close.
You are so awful. You are. Oh my God, the white guilt is amazing. How many times did you say the N-word this morning? My goodness.
Man.
Yeah, you can take the man out of Tennessee, but you can't take the Humphreys out of the man.
No, whoa. Listen, I will not.
Can we get a sponsorship by Humphreys? And then they
probably not, because you slander them all the time.
No, it's my
Maybe
affectionate love. I'm play fighting with them, like when you flirt with a girl, like in fourth grade. You pull her hair and stuff. And go, hey, that's what I'm trying to get.
I mean, I might get the sponsorship. I don't know about you. We'll see.
I won't. I can't eat that. I can't eat that kind of cholesterol. That's awful. And pretty soon Kennedy will stop you from eating it. But this guy has surrounded himself by central casting for Nazi types. Like, I'm going to make a Holocaust movie, and I was like, who could I get? It doesn't have to have any acting experience. Oh, I'll get Stephen Miller because he looks just like it.
Yeah. And he is just the worst.
Hey, ChatGPT, create 20 prototypes based off of this guy.
Yeah. Like if you put him in black and white and gave him some iron crosses and just showed it to school kids, you'd be like, is this guy a Nazi? They'd be like, of course.
Listen to him.
Illinois Governor Pritzker just called for mass protests and disruption, saying Republicans cannot know peace, while Trump's border crossings are down 95% and ICE is locking up 800 criminals. Is Pritzker inciting insurrection, and will DOJ take action?
Well, what I would say is that his comments, if nothing else, clearly could be construed as inciting violence. So President Trump survived 2 assassination attempts against his life. Of course, there's been many more credible threats against President Trump and his family and associates. We've, of course, seen the spate of left-wing domestic terrorism all across this country. By the way, the destruction of property sits directly adjacent to attacks on humans and physical attacks.
Oh my God! He's doing the broken windows thing.
He goes on to call Governor Pritzker's comments secessionist behavior.
It's the First Amendment.
So as long as you're not threatening the guy, you're allowed to say it. And you can say it to his face. You're allowed to talk that way to police officers as long as you obey lawful orders.
Yeah. I don't know.
If a cop pulls you over and says license and registration, right? A cop says license and registration to you. You're allowed to say, yes, sir, pig. May I get my license and registration out of my glove box, pig? And he can't say a word to you. He can inside want to kill you, but he can't say anything. You're following his orders.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they can also find any reason to arrest you. But yes, technically you are correct.
They're just human beings with badges. I don't care.
No, I mean, neither. I'm just saying.
Care. I am not afraid of your badge.
No, me neither.
And I am a person who says the idea of a law and order and the idea of a police force does make sense in a society with this many people where people break laws. It does make sense. But you could take your cosplay, army cosplay, and your police vehicles and go piss off all the way out of here. Yeah, I don't care.
Don't worry. Trump's going to give them more military surplus. So
but check it out, though. So what he's doing is setting up his army, which
of course
you'd have to get rid of posse comitatus. I mean, he's not doing anything like that, is he? So let's go backtrack. We got tariffs because he said so. Literally tariffs because he said so. Not that Congress decided or another country was raging an economic war against us or playing games. There's always tariffs. First of all, did you know before these tariffs, he says, we were the most tariffed country. Oh my God, we're victims. Did you know what our effective tariff rate was? 2%.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't expect these people 2%. That voted for him to actually read or understand or know anything.
2%.
Yeah.
2%. Dude, I got more other races in me than 2%.
Oh, there's jokes for days there, but we'll skip it.
Do you have any Mexican in you?
I do not.
Would you like some?
I mean, hey,
Hey, ho,
hey,
boom, boom.
oh, settle down, mustache.
We're going to get rounded up for that one, aren't we? Hey, at least we're not cousins. Shout out Kanye. So
Hey.
you got tariffs because he said so, because the fat guy said so.
Yeah,
Just because.
yeah.
Then you got
And-
the heads of Lowe's and Target and Amazon and Home Depot going, sir, at the White House, by the way, sir, we're 2 weeks away from empty shelves. Doesn't that scare you?
Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. These idiots don't understand it. Like, they're like, oh, you should have ordered up. Do you have any idea how retail ordering goes or how things go? It's all statistical analysis. Like, you can't just be like, oh, we're just going to overbuy everything to make sure that it's here. That's not how that works. Like, they have zero idea. And these are the people that are running, like, the country.
Yeah.
Jesus
But you got
Christ.
tariffs because the fat guy said so. And no, he's not the orange man. There's a lot of people out there with sunburns that are good people, and we shouldn't disparage them. So we call him the fat guy.
Yeah.
The fat guy
Yeah. And
says
next
tariffs
week,
because I said so.
now we're going to find out next week you can't call them fat anymore.
Probably can't. Probably hurt the feelings. Whoopie-doopie-doo. The fat guy says tariffs because I said so. The fat guy says you can't talk bad at me, otherwise that's secessionist behavior. And then Stephen Miller is his mouthpiece, or it's probably Stephen Miller's fist up his butt so high that he's controlling the guy because he has an ego.
like a puppet.
Exactly. And then you got the same fat guy who is saying, his Department of Justice, his Attorney General, is saying ICE can now enter your home without warrants to look for migrants. To look for, quote, migrants.
Jesus. You know what?
Migrants.
Where's all the 2A advocates and the Don't Tread on Me conglomeration here? Where are you at? Because you're always talking about, oh, I need 45 ARs because the tyrannical government might come into my house. Where are you at now? Because that's what they're doing. That's what they just said that they can do. So what are you going to do?
I will tell you, if you weren't aware, for those people, the Second Amendment applies to whites.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a whole reason there was gun
And
control.
police.
Yeah.
Police, first of all, police officers, they are so gay. And I don't mean that as a slander. I mean, they're gays. They're homosexuals. Look at them. I'm going to wear my extra tight shirt with my tight bicep muscles, my extra short sleeves on purpose. I ordered it this way. I can't breathe and I'm very uncomfortable and my belt's too high. But look at my super tight, shaved up the side, 0-aught, triple-aught, a buzz cut with my faux, I don't know, army look from the 60s and my glasses. I'm gay. That's a gay dude. That is a butch
You know what though?
bear.
I wouldn't even say
that
that
is a bear.
Most of them look like thumbs. Like at least gay dudes like look good.
You know who
Like
looks like thumbs? Let me say something. Shout out to every Pennsylvania state trooper that says,
Yep.
it doesn't matter what I look like as long as I'm literally bald,
Yeah.
a little heavy, and I have this stupid looking horse muff hat going across my chin.
And add the Oakley sunglasses just
What
for
is that?
the finishing touch.
What is
I
that?
don't
First of
know.
all, give those glasses back to bikers and snowboarders.
and baseball players in the 90s. Like unless your name is Ricky
Yeah,
Henderson.
Jose
please,
Canseco
please.
would like them
Yeah,
back.
Exactly.
My goodness, you guys look like dorks. I've long said about police officers, one, they should walk more in communities that can have it, like
They should
major
also
cities.
live in their communities that
Yes,
they
they
work
should
instead of
100%
retreating to
live.
the suburbs like some
But listen,
cowards.
In a major city like, say, New York and Los Angeles, they can walk clearly a whole bunch of that.
Yeah.
In small communities, they can walk clearly. There's no big deal. Those police officers that are on foot should not wear sunglasses. Let us see your eyes and your face. That goes a long way to humanizing you. It may help you feel less, if I'm walking around with sunglasses staring at people like that and I look like an enemy combatant with all my gear on, cosplaying with my Garmin watch, and I'm like, check it out. I can go full screen Delta, Bravo 65 on my lunchtime, according to my Garmin. I mean, and you're in front of a Safeway. You know what I mean? Like
with three of your buddies sitting around getting paid $185 an hour to do nothing, show up, write a report, and then drive away.
You want to hear something funny?
Go home and beat your wife after your shift.
How's this for flex? In 1994, I was leaving Hammer's house in the Fremont Hills from a party, and we got down to where there was a Shell station, and the entrance for the highway was right there, 880, and it was blocked. And it says use alternate entrance, and I'm like, where the heck's the alternate entrance? Like, we didn't know where that was. Like, where's that? This is the. So then a high patrol CHP officer, which I know, I'm stupid. He gets out and he goes inside. So I get out, walk away. Excuse me, officer. Turns around. Yes. Where's the other entrance for the highway? This one's blocked. Says use the alternate, but there's like it doesn't even point you anywhere, right?
Right.
Like I don't know. Like, am I going that way 20 miles? Like, what am I doing? Well, where are you going? North? No, I asked you where you're going. North.
Yeah.
What city are you going to? I'm going home. It's north. I don't like how you're talking to me. I've answered all your questions. You can't just tell me where the new on-ramp is, where I can enter the freeway. What's your name? I don't have to tell you my name. I could arrest you. Do you know what they'll do to someone in prison like you? I said, do you know what I'll do to someone like prison like you? That's back, you know me, the old me. I said, do you know what I'll do to someone in prison like you? Because I didn't care. I was pissed. Like, what do you? I literally said, sir, and I just said, where's the on-ramp?
Yeah.
You're the highway patrol. You're the guy who had no other option, so you memorized the exit ramps and mile markers. So tell me.
Yeah.
So luckily, another police officer pulled up from Fremont Police, and he went in, and he stopped, and he kind of looked over at us, and he came over and diffused it really quick and said, "Oh, it's right up here. All right, see you guys later." Told me he protected him, but also knew to get us out of there. Luckily, that guy did that, but I was like, "This is who they are. They're creep jerks."
Yeah.
And now you got Trump, who's going to cosplay with them.
Yeah.
You think he's going to give out Garmin watches?
Not probably. It's the greatest watch.
Tactical edition.
It's tactical. So when we're expelling legal brown residents from the United States, you can look at it and see what time
these
it
guys cosplaying with these Garmin watches. Let me get my tactical watch out and do my jog. Like, what are you doing? Dork.
I don't get it, man.
I mean, if you like it, go ahead, whatever. But you're a weirdo. But when you walk around like, look how buffed I am with my tactical watch.
Dude, I really hate that we have to have these conversations on this show instead of like talking about music. Now we got this authoritarian asshole just ruining everything
I have
in real
a tactical flashlight. You know what makes it tactical? You can drop it and it's waterproof. So
I'm surprised you don't have a headlamp yet for your bike.
No.
No, you'll get one.
No.
You will.
There's tariffs, so they're expensive, and I can't afford it. So thanks for making fun of me and your communism.
You know what, though? Hey, listen.
Hey, my bike cost $275 more today than it did when I bought it.
Well,
because then people are blaming Trek.
Yeah. Again, they don't understand econ. No,
but also
it's insane to me.
What? Like, it's not. They didn't do it, and they were pretty clear about it. Trek and Specialized, they were both clear out saying the stock that we have is not going to be affected by tariffs because we already have it here. But anything else coming in, like, we don't have to tell you.
Well, and I mean, that's with every company's come out and said, we don't want to raise prices, but we have to because we're getting smacked on these tariffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What else are you going to do? Hey, Temu, that web thing, Amazon or whatever, they have now a line item on there. It says import fees, and it tells you. And there's people that are like. One guy goes, I didn't believe everybody, so I went to Temu and I added like $72 worth of random stuff, and then the import fee was like $131.
Yeah. Oh, it's happening across the board. Like it's not a thing. I mean, Amazon said that they were going to start putting tariff prices on there, and that little like bottle blonde like Nazi acolyte that's the press secretary was saying how that's this is political warfare. It's like, no, stupid. It's telling you what the price is going to be with your genius idea of tariffs. Christ.
Questioning the president is not political warfare.
Are you worried about empty shelves? Because they say that a lot of these, the supply lines and the cargo ships are being held up. A lot of people are saying, turn it around with the tariffs this high. I don't want the product. Are you worried about empty shelves?
Not at present. We have some great retailers. Not at present. I assume they pre-ordered. I think we'll see some elasticities.
My brain hurts.
According to the press secretary, questioning that is like being a traitor.
Oh my God.
What timeline did we end up in?
The worst, apparently.
Did I just fall into a hot tub or something? Like, I don't understand what's going on.
Oh, nice callback.
I never seen that movie. I just know the premise. I don't watch movies, if you've noticed that. I watch a few movies.
You watch movies about bikes. You should watch Rad.
No, I watched a few movies, and I repeat those movies. We're talking Full Metal Jacket, Field of Dreams, Stand By Me, Little House on the Prairie, the entire series, shut up, and Tombstone.
Well,
And they have formed me into the man that I am.
yeah, clearly.
And I've never watched American Me because that movie is fake. It is pretend and entirely made up.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it a few times and I'm cool. I'm good on it.
That movie is so realistic. Oh my goodness. All right. Anyway, so the people just going for this, and let's combine all of what we just talked about, which sounds made up, to an autism registry.
Yeah.
Now you're the staff retard. So you tell me, how does that affect you?
Well, slow down. First of all,
I'm allowed to say it.
You are
I said it earlier. Trump's the
No.
president. I'm allowed to say it. We have a First Amendment, unless you're criticizing the fat guy. So I'm allowed to say it.
Well, I mean, I guess you could say whatever you want. I won't, but I think this is a horrible precedent to set.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course it is.
If you know anything about history, this is exactly how the Nazis started.
Slippery slopes are slippery.
Well,
so
and
we
then-
got our little autism registry. You know what? This is working out pretty well. It's really helping us. Maybe let's track the diabetics.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there is going to be a racial purity test at some point, and they're going to frame it in a way of, you have to be this fit or you have to be from this area. And they're just going to slowly keep weeding away anybody with any kind of disability or, mental health diagnosis.
Well,
that's
and anyone
what they're
who thinks
doing.
that you're exaggerating is literally retarded.
They're as stupid can be, because if you don't see this for what it is, one, you've never cracked open a history book or a fucking comic book. Go read X-Men.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, well,
Grow up.
No, listen.
Grow up.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
It's
no,
goated.
we're headed right into it, and you know
Well,
what? It's no different with Trump's just proactive with it.
Yeah.
Current liberals are literally the same. It's just the opposite side of the coin. Did they do anything about, say, Epstein's list?
No. And I mean, you see how far that got now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
there's
Virginia Giuffre, whatever her name is.
yeah,
killed
the
herself.
chick. Yeah, yeah. And where did she?
Prince
and where-
Andrews, Prince Andrews, sex slave, killed herself.
Yeah, and where did they find her? Working at Mar-a-Lago. Like, you can't even make that shit up. Like,
It's insane, right?
like there's just way too much overlap. And it's like they always talk about the elites, the cabals that are running this country, and we're gonna destroy woke ideology. It's like, bro, you are the global elites. Like, you are the cabal that's running this country into the ground and making sure your pedophile friends don't go to jail over it. Like, shut up.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is, the late Pope Francis had said that in reference to Donald Trump, without saying his name, he had said Adolf Hitler didn't steal power. He won it legally in an election, and then he didn't give it up, and then he took more. And that's literally what's going on right now. He won the election, and he's not going to give it up. But it's our fault. He said, I will be a dictator on day one.
Yeah. And everybody laughed it off, and it's like, ha 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 ha. Yeah, he's
that's
so funny.
cute.
He's just cry more, libs. Oh, we're owning the libs. It's like, yeah, okay.
Did you
How'd
ever
that
see
work out?
the 1980s documentary Moving, starring Richard Pryor and the late great King Kong Bundy?
I don't.
So Richard
maybe?
Pryor he got transferred across country in his job, and he had to go buy a home. He finds the perfect dream home, and the guy selling it's like, Richard Pryor's like, these are lovely cabinets. And the guy selling it's like, oh my God, that's so funny. I know. They're actually going with us. Ah, ha, 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 ha. We're taking them with us. And then he made that comment about the pool and different things of the house. Then when Richard Pryor got to the house, the cabinets were gone, the pool was gone, and the other stuff he liked was gone. It was just a shell. And he's like, right, I told you. This is the same thing.
I mean, listen, it's the leopards eating face party. You know what I mean? It's now you're starting to see all the, some of the MAGA regret. It's like, oh, I didn't vote for this. Yeah, you did. You absolutely did.
How about these dorks? What is this? There was a guy on Twitter. I actually did a deep dive for a second, and I found his LinkedIn, and all. So his business was real. He has that business. He has a business in Iowa that takes imports from China. Well, now he's going to have to shut down because the tariffs are just killing it. He can't do it. But he's ready to take that on the chin for the sake of America.
Okay.
What? What? Are you just afraid to get taken to the gulags? Because what are you talking about? Almost any person I know would be livid.
Yeah. Well, and they talk about, they're always like, oh, it's Trump derangement syndrome. It's like, no, you can look at him with a critical eye. Like, if you can.
Well, there is a such thing as Trump derangement syndrome. I know a very liberal lady who her pizza could come half cooked and she'd blame Trump. It's like, stop. Like, that's not how that works.
That's her fault for being a liberal. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, that's true, actually.
It's so that I don't care about, but it's like, no, absolutely not, sir. You know
what? What?
Nothing.
I'm allowed to do that.
You're just cute when you flirt with me. Yeah, it's fine.
That's disgusting.
I know you love me. Don't make it weird, dude. Just let's keep let's keep bashing this orange fuck. Maybe we'll get another. We get a hate speech complaint last week.
I just thought it was out of respect. I won the Catholic vote. And I think it's the first time that ever happened where a Republican won the vote, and I won it by a lot. And, I have a great relationship to the Catholics.
No, we don't. And I'm not saying I speak for Catholics. I'm just saying,
yeah,
I know a lot of Catholics. I don't find a lot of Catholics that agree with that man.
I love the qualifiers. I only went there because I won the Catholic vote, not to pay my respects, not to be a world leader, but because the Catholics, they voted for me, they love me, so I guess I got to show up for their dead guy. It's like,
well, what about Zelensky, a Jewish man? Clearly, he doesn't belong to that faith, right?
I mean,
but you go there and you just sit quietly and pay your respects and shut up because you're a president of a country.
I mean, there were plenty of Arabs that were there too.
I know.
What I mean, there were plenty of Muslims. Like, that's what you do if you're political.
The king of Saudi Arabia sent a representative who sat there quietly and respectfully.
Yeah.
Because that's just what you do. You just say the polite thing and be quiet and move on.
Well, and then did you see the video of him sleeping during it?
Yeah. Well, dude, you understand carrying around that kind of weight when you're fat makes you tired.
All those diet Cokes and cheeseburgers are really doing the job.
Anyway, if we could go into the future, then look back, I wonder what it would look like. And I wonder what Satoshi Nakamoto, not to be confused with Nintendo, would say about it. Speaking of Nintendo, this fat guy almost ruined the fun for all these kids this summer by ruining the Nintendo Switch too.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Nintendo didn't raise prices. They said, we're going to figure out just this summer and figure it out otherwise. So if you want it at the normal price, buy it now. Otherwise, in the fall, we don't know.
Did you pre-order yours?
Were you kidding?
Well, I'm just double checking. I don't
June
know.
June 5th, baby. What are you talking about? June 5th, Mario Kart World. It's on to break the ground. Like, I'm not even doing this anymore. It's wake up, work out, bike ride.
What?
Hey, Nintendo Switch, bike ride, Nintendo Switch, bike ride, eat. So the founder of Binance believes that Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, is AI from the future. And I would say at this point, it's just not implausible, right?
I mean, I know very little about it other than that guy that created Bitcoin.
Books and communism.
Extremely, I don't care about Bitcoin, but all I know is that, like, he's extremely reclusive. Nobody's ever seen him. They have ideas about who he could be, but, they can't prove it.
I told you who it was, and I'm not going to repeat it on here because I don't want to get taken away to the gulags. It was Elon Musk.
Nah, if it was Elon Musk, he would have just bought the company that created it and then been like, I did it.
No, it was Elon Musk. Who is an alien?
Oh, he might be.
Well, he's not an alien. What you see is his earthly vessel. Like pregnant women with babies, how they said that's their vessel, whatever. Ooh. I mean, technically that is the vessel for the baby, but that's weird. Oh, by the way, if you and your wife would like $5,000 or whatever it is, she can have a kid.
No, I don't need $5,000 like that.
Here's the thing. That doesn't even cover the hospital bill for the delivery.
Yeah. Well, and then what are you going to do? They cut SNAP services. There's no neonatal, there's no postnatal, there's no child care.
Anyone
there's
who would
any
take
child
that
services.
$5,000, anyone who needs that $5,000 bad enough, they're like, I will have a kid for the sake of literally just the $5,000. Can't afford to raise the kid.
Right. Well, and the funny part is that, their big thing is a baby is a baby is a baby. It doesn't matter. You can't have an abortion. Guess when it's a baby for the government? When it's born. It's like your hypocrisy knows no bounds. It's like that kid in The kid in the womb is a kid, and you can't have an abortion, but you don't get the $5,000 for having that kid until it comes out of the womb. So which is it? But, that's not a conversation they're ready to have.
Life begins at conception because that's when that thing is alive. You can call it whatever you want, zygote, everything else. I don't care. It is alive. It is a stage in the process of human development. It is a human being, and it's not a tomato. And yes, you should take care of it. And yes, you should take care of the kid if needed after they're born. There is never a situation in which we should abandon any of our people ever in this country with all these riches and all these bombs. We should never abandon a single goddamn person.
Yeah, but you know what? Every single time you try to bring something like that up, you get hit with, oh, well, you just like communism. It's like, first of all, you can't even describe what communism is. You know what I mean? Number one.
That's my problem with atheists. These, I don't know what you want to call them, neo-atheists, the atheists for the sake of, I want to call myself that. I'm on Twitter. And they criticize like the church or something like, oh, never mind. You've clearly, okay, never mind. You've never read it. You know nothing about it.
Like, I don't, that's not a badge that I wear around. Like, I don't care. I don't talk about it. I don't bring it up.
I know. I just mock you for it because it's funny because you're poor at communism. But I'm not mocking poor people. I'm mocking communism. There's clearly a difference. But I knew a liberal person who wanted the church signs banned because it's forcing religion on people. I'm like, what? Driving by a sign is forcing. So then if I'm a vegetarian, you should not have your hamburger sign, at Burger King because it's forcing hamburgers on me. People are stupid. There's no self-accountability anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that's, it's disgusting. But, with all the money and the shit that we have in this country, nobody should go without. And I don't care. Call me whatever you want. But it's not a wild left-wing concept to be like people should be able to afford housing and medicine and
I will tell you too, even prison, and I'm not talking about murderers and rapists, violent people. I'm talking about like, I stole a car. I shoplifted. Why are they being treated in the same condition and manners as the other people? Why aren't we trying to, make them better? You're in prison for 3 years. That's your punishment. And during that 3 years, pick a major, buddy, because you're going to school or we're going to force you to learn a trade.
Yeah, well, it's because private prisons.
I know. That's where I was headed. But I'm saying, why aren't we treating them that? Why treat them like a little bit of a human being, where they don't have to smuggle gum up their butt into the prison because they could just get some gum. Treat them a little bit like a human being so they could come out and be better, not be vindictive. But then they let them go in there and get ripped and strong. What do you think? I have 24 hours a day to get ripped and strong for 20 years. And I now hate you more. Like, stupid. It is slavery. The credit score is slavery. Credit cards are slavery. All of that is slavery. Welfare is slavery. Food stamps are slavery. WIC is slavery. And that doesn't mean some people don't benefit from it because they need it, but it's a tool of that. Look at Lyndon Johnson. There's tapes from the Oval Office of him saying that if we pass this bill, the welfare bill, and all I forget what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. We can get every end to vote for us for the next several lifetimes.
Which is insanity. I know, but
that.
That's the thing, though. Like, there are poor white people that depend on that shit too, and
of course,
it is absolutely. I would never call, food stamps, WICs, and shit like that slavery because people absolutely need that now.
No, it's a tool of it. It is a tool of it.
Do people abuse it? Sure, but let's talk about like the real problem when it comes to
make himself look smart.
Not at all. I'm like, literally just replying to what you said because
there are bread lines in Soviet Union. Well, in America, there is no bread lines. You can't even have a line.
Well, get ready because when the empty shelves happen,
they're coming 2 weeks.
Well, and when they say this is what it looks like under communism, my first response is, "Oh yeah, what are we under right now?" So don't conflate the two. I hate that shit. It's like there's a reason.
You can't do a single thing about it, punk. Oh,
yeah.
Snap.
Oh, do you feel good
American
about yourself?
Me. Yeah, that was pretty cool though, wasn't it?
No.
I almost went off, but I'm not going to swear on the show. But why not? It's bad. I don't know. But it's bad. It's stupid. This is dork. First of all, the dork disc on a bike. The little plastic piece that sits between your derailleur and your spokes, your gears, and your spokes. So that if your chain pops off, chain will get wrapped in your spokes and you go flying and die. So everybody calls it a dork disc. I don't know, whatever. It's so clear plastic, you can barely see it. I think you're a weirdo if you're focused on other people's bikes with a dork disc. But it makes sense. I seen a guy last Saturday bite it hard. He was about 40 yards ahead of me on this trail, and he bit it so hard. I was, sped up, stopped. His chain was wrapped in his spokes because he took off his dork disc. I didn't say nothing to him, like, but I just noticed it, and I was thinking, like, and that's why that little piece of plastic's there.
Yeah, I mean, you can either look cool or you can like.
There's
survive,
not a look cool.
I guess.
Go find a bike. Look at the back window, the back wheel. It's that little clear plastic. It's small. It's clear. It's just big enough where it covers the largest spoke, and that way it doesn't.
Just get a chrome one. I know you want to.
You can probably get those, but clearly that's why it's there, because it happens so much that they were like, the government's like, the bike's got to have them. Just like your reflectors. You can take them off, but we're selling it to you. And then if you ask the bike store, because I even asked the bike mechanic, I befriend these people. Do you guys ever get a lot of requests to have those taken off? He's like, almost all the time. The higher ends want them, but not allowed. We won't do it. So you could take them off yourself. That's how easy they are. Like, you don't even have to take any parts apart. You could just clip it on one end and it just slides off. But they all do that. And he says people will often find them in their parking lot when they load it into their car. They just cut it off. But that guy bit so hard because that chain that I'm like, no, I'll never take mine off. That scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I had never seen someone fall off a bike that way by himself.
I have tons of friends that ride, and like one of my friends ate it hard and shattered his clavicle and was laid up for like 9 months. Like my dude, and it wasn't even a difficult trail. It was just he caught a rock and went straight over his handlebars and just destroyed his clavicle.
Well, I'll tell you today, out on my ride before the show, I hit a lump on a sidewalk that blended in perfectly, and it jerked me bad. Like bad. But I hit my brakes, and shout out to hydraulic brakes on a bike, because it stopped me on like a dime, just stop.
Wait, you have hydraulics on your bike?
Yeah,